record button because I'm gonna record this. Hi YouTube. I've been asked to watch Film Theory, so this is me watching Film Theory. I don't know if I'll upload this whole thing. I don't know how cut up it'll be. I've got literally no idea. But we're gonna start with this one. I'm gonna pause the autumn music and we're just gonna go. Because apparently I don't know enough about the backrooms, so I need to be taught about the backrooms. Again, I don't know. I'm probably gonna, I might skip around a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. It depends on how chat's feeling. How you feeling, chat? You feeling the Matt Pat? Oh no, that's so scary. Who is Pat? Who is this Matt Pat? It's Film Theory. From the same hit creator as that of the Game Theory. I actually, you know, a lot of people. What was that? Was that an in joke? I don't know if I understood that very well.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory, the show that reminds you that all the creepiest pastas came from the 1980s.
How does he always sound the same? How does he sound the same in every video? I don't think it's bad. I actually think that the consistency is important to his brand, but how does he do that?
Hulk Hogan, he's got Pasta Mania in the Mall of America. I want to try to get a word with him.
Pasta Mania has got all my Hulkamaniacs running wild. And I've eaten so many Hulkaroos and Hulkayoos.
Hulkaroos and
Fun fact, that restaurant would go on to receive 3 Michelin stars. Well, I hope you carbo loaded on that Pasta Mania, Hulkamaniacs, because tonight we're no clipping once more into the back rooms. The analog horror series right here on YouTube, produced by Kane Pixels. Last time we wandered through these jaundiced hallways, we were looking for a means of escape, a way to survive the endless maze of humming fluorescence and salt.
Oh, by the way, just so you guys know, you want to know what his amazing solution to the backrooms was? Learn how to navigate a maze. That's it. Learn how to navigate a maze. I will say, navigate or nut. I will say actually that his specific advice. I hate what the backrooms has become. It's how every analog horror thing goes once it gets picked up by like everybody. I will say that his advice was good. I just thought it was very funny that he spent about 20 minutes being like, it's a big maze. Treat it like a big maze. It's like, okay, I feel like we could have gone a little deeper than that.
But today,
how are you going to eat? How are you going to drink?
We're
like,
looking for
I don't know.
lore.
We're looking for lore.
We want answers. At this point, Kane's series is 3 months old, and in that amount of time, he's given us 10 videos full of creepy mysteries for us to chew on. What are the back rooms, really? Did humanity create them? Have they just been a parallel dimension all along? And what about the dead man that we find hidden in the middle of the maze, covered in a violent explosion of black?
The Daisy robot clip? I don't know if he's going to talk about that, but he's definitely going to talk about this gentleman. I still can't believe that this is not like a real actor. As far as I know, this was made in like Blender or something. It's very cool.
And most importantly of all, should we be concerned
I
about
love that dude. I love that funky fucker.
Probably, right? Usually a giant roaring threat is something to be
oh, you know what? Hold on.
Concerned about.
There you go.
Throw on your hazmat suits, friends, and grab your tow lines. Today, we're going in deep. First, let's talk about timeline, shall we?
He is like a
What makes
Minecraft
the lore of
villain.
the back room so hard to crack in an initial watch is that it follows the tried and true formula of series like The Walton Files, Mandela Catalog, and FNAF, where the story is just told out of order.
What is the Walton Files? Does anyone know what the Walton Files is? What is the Walton Files? Is that something I should check out? You know, it's scary taking a horror concept revolving around the unfamiliar yet familiar and explaining literally every facet of it until all ambiguity has been blasted away. Walton, we have to cook. Ever hear of the Walt? I have heard of Walt Disney. I've actually heard of that. I have indeed. But yeah, I think that every horror media gets overexplored, but I also think that it's like a very intrinsic part of what makes horror fun, which is the exploration of it. Like, it's just that once the exploration has been done to death, it's not fun anymore. So I think that it makes horror have a very like short lifespan depending on what the type of media is. But I think that that's why things like FNAF that are always coming out with new games, and it's like a more and more complex, like Gordian knot of stories, is because it'll keep you picking at it for longer and longer. Something that is a contained concept like the back rooms, but that can be expanded, I think loses its flashiness a lot quicker because it's so open source that anyone can make new stuff about it. Which is not bad. It just means that it has a shorter like shelf life.
Found footage actually comes last in the timeline currently, September 23rd, 1996. So through the power of reorganization, let's recap what we know in the order that we know it. Our story begins in 1982 with Async, a corporation conducting scientific research into magnetism and or electromagnetic field generators under government contract during the Cold War. In our first video of the series, Prototype, a video that, no joke, released as I was writing this paragraph, so forgive me if I miss anything in it. We get our
Who the
first
fuck
event
are
of the
you?
series.
Fuck. Hello, Jason. Hello, Gander. You scared me. FNAF is just written by a dumbass. I mean, it's written by many dumbasses, to be fair. I agree. I think the Backrooms is really bad because there's no filtering like SCP, so a bunch of my 15-year-olds, specifically have ruined it.
A metallic marble is surrounded by what appears to be
that's weird.
electromagnetic field generating tubes. Notice how the shape and general design matches diagrams for similar
Yeah, I guess that matches. It's a tube.
real-life generators. The system fires up, and just like that, the ball is gone, presumably teleported to some space within space, thereby making the ball a subspace emissary, if you will. I hate myself for that joke, but then again, you don't pass up the opportunity to make the very rare subspace emissary joke.
That's what the inside
by
of balls
July
look like.
1988, Async, emboldened by that initial success, has given
Thank
their
you, Adam,
distortion
for your
field
insight.
experiments a room-sized glow-up called Project KV-31. According to the video The Third Test, the goal of these experiments was to solve, quote, all future storage and housing needs. So it seems like the foundation of our story here is that science discovers an entire other universe of endless space, and our first thought was, hey, it's a good place to store our junk.
That isn't a joke. He just said the campaign of Smash Bros. Well, it's a reference, which is basically constitutes a joke at this point. Sorry for scaring you. Not you don't gotta be sorry about it. It's good for my heart.
To try and open a portal to this subspace before the sixth finally proves.
In my head, horror and spicy food are like the same thing. They're unpleasant in the moment, but overall good for you.
On October 17th, 1989 at 5:04 p.m. Pacific, with the generator beefed up and something redacted being introduced into something else redacted, the threshold gets cranked up and blasts out a light show that seems to almost
My
shake
wiener
the facility
being introduced
apart.
into
When
your
the smoke
mom.
clears, the back rooms themselves have finally appeared on the other end. Async has achieved first contact. Unfortunately, that's not the only thing that happened. That date and time, 5:04 p.m. on October 17th, 1989, also happened to be in reality the moment a magnitude 6.9 lol hit the central coast of California, killing 63 and injuring thousands more.
What is the morality of using like an actual tragic event where people died for your like horror lore? Is that amoral? I don't really know how to think about that. I guess not.
The timing
It feels
here
weird
is
though.
clearly not
Like, can you
meant to be
imagine if like an earthquake happened and then someone was like, but the earthquake opened up the dimensional rift and that is where all of the backrooms came from. Like, would I be upset about that, or would I think that it's cool that something that killed me is being introduced into a horror concept? I don't know.
As a secret unlisted video on Kane Pixel's channel gives us real archival news footage from the Loma Prieta quake, including
always
a
think it
map
was COVID
highlighting
video?
the
I haven't
location
seen
of
that.
the earthquake's epicenter, the Santa Cruz Mountains. In short, we now know where our async test facility is hidden. It's here, the epicenter of that.
The New Maker story is actually one of the most horrible things I've ever heard, and it like stresses me out. The what video games characters would survive COVID one. Matt, bad people are dying. Oh,
Devastating
God.
quake. And from that point forward, the world appears to be glitched. We see in the video Missing Persons that from October 1989 onward, huge numbers of ordinary people just start to go missing as they no-clip through reality, falling into this newly opened backrooms
Oops, he was
metaspace.
too
All the while,
silly.
Async is slowly exploring this new environment. On February
What's a New Maker? Oh my God. There's another MatPat video about it for Petscop. That's very like pretty well thought out, telling the story about it. And it is pretty respectful to the subject matter as far as I can tell. I guess without getting into too many details, it was the case of Laney, you know this better than I do. Laney, if you wanna describe it in the chat, try to be selective about word choice, because it's pretty bad.
February 3rd, 1990, they have their first major discovery, a mysterious dead body coated in what appears to be some type of black mold or aged blood splatter. So far in the series, he remains as an unidentified John Doe, but my suspicion is that this is actually Nicholas Bolton, a missing person that we see at the top of the upload. Notice a few of the details here. First, he's not wearing a hazmat suit, which clearly tells us that this is not an async employee. Instead, it's someone who no-clipped.
You telling me that they can't wear hoodies under their stuff,
into the back
under their
Second,
hazmat suits? Those things are pretty big.
Notice the wider nose, tall forehead, the hoodie, just like we see on Nicholas's missing poster.
Okay, I can kind of see
we
it.
Also see that Async's government contract appears to have been canceled. In the next video autopsy report, we get quick cuts of various images on a screen. One image here is the top line of a document with the words contract termination. Things aren't looking too great for Async, and they're about to get worse. Just shy of 1 month later, the fourth member of an Async exploration crew is lured away from the rest by mysterious voices in the walls and ceiling, only to see his team glitch out of space when he tries to rejoin them.
Guys, do you hear this? Hey guys, do you hear this? Hey! Guys? George?
Now lost, he wanders the hallways, stumbling across a bizarre theater with burned remains in the middle of the floor, as well as a smaller crawl space with non-carpeted floors, forest print wallpaper.
I actually love this area. This is actually one of my favorite parts of the backroom videos, is like this specific little cottage. That shit like freaked me out. I thought that was actually wild. Speaking of hoodies, we're hitting peak hoodie weather. Oh, yeah, I agree. It's actually like, so my house right now is actually pretty cool. But in this room it gets hot because of my two big ass lights that I use to make myself look so beautiful and opulent. I might actually, hold on, I'm actually going to turn my AC on a little bit so that way I am cooler. It rained all day here today too. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. We have the same weather patterns. We haven't invented Google yet. Petscop is a horror game that is not a real horror game. It's like a PlayStation video game that like one person has and is like making videos on it. It's really interesting. I actually don't know everything about it though. Laney was really into it for a while though.
House with farm equipment out front. As he continues his search, we see what looks to be an exit into an async control room, considering his keycard works on the door and his sounds of relief. But it winds up empty, and his presence triggers a red alert. End of upload. About a week later, on March 5th, Async rigs cameras to motion sensors to capture the action of what's going on in the back room while people aren't there. We see Async crew members constructing more walls. Yeah, cause that's what the back rooms needed. More rooms. Humanity, you dumb. Later that night at 3 a.m., the camera...
Oh, Matt, my boy. Matt, my sweet son, my sweet child. I know that these are made for kids, but come on. Come on with that. That hurt me a little.
Capture a bizarre dark shape that seems to be moving along the walls or the ceiling. Looks like the Backrooms monster's been watching some YouTube videos. Don't explore the Backrooms at 3 a.m. Asterisk scary. Asterisk you will cry. Asterisk shooketh. Which then brings us all the way back to the first ever upload, Kane's original found footage video. In 1996, a young cinematographer named Kane no-clips through the ground, falling into the Backrooms, where he encounters some kind of monster that attacks and presumably kills him, sending his camera falling through yet another clip and back out into reality. If you go frame by frame during this moment, you can actually see Kane's whole body here being attacked by the monster as the camera falls. It's a very cool little detail that I noticed. So anyway, that's the story that we've gotten thus far, but it leaves plenty of major questions for us to speculate about.
I want to go on record saying I actually like MatPat. I give MatPat a lot of shit because I think that sometimes he says woefully unfunny things. I think MatPat's fine. I know a lot of people don't like him, and I think a lot of those reasons are justified. I think he's fine. I don't really have a reason. I just think that his videos are well made and well edited, and I think that, like, I understand a lot of the criticisms, but the one that bothers me the most is the, like, his lore videos are not right sometimes, or, like, too far of a stretch, but, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with being wrong. End of set. I don't think there's anything wrong with being wrong. Like, sometimes people are wrong about things. That's fine. I think he also like didn't credit an artist once, which is like a little shitty.
What is the monster roaming the halls? Why are there voices and farmhouses hidden inside the walls? Well, let's start with the monster. Is it human? Doesn't appear to be. You can probably also eliminate animal and bird. An insect? Nah. Maybe some kind of robot? It looks a little bit like one if you squint, but then again, I've always got animatronics on the brain, so I'm a little bit biased. I've seen some people suggest that it could be a ghost or an energy monster. No, energy monster, not monster energy. Regardless,
you gotta stop making these jokes if I'm gonna defend you, Matt. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. I just defended you. I literally just went out on a limb, and I was cast back down like Icarus flying too close to the sun. I don't think Matt Pat experiences emotions like we do. Yeah, but that doesn't make him evil. It makes him a robot. I'm fine with him, but I preferred his older content as opposed to his newer stuff the last 6 years. Yeah, I liked him. I liked him more when I was a kid, but I also think that that's more what his content is like kind of situated around, so it doesn't bother me all that much. I'm amazed the robot on his brain wasn't Roxy like it was for everyone else. You know, Roxy was interesting. If I had to choose an animatronic, I'm a Chica fan. All right, at me about it. At me about it. All right, I'm a Chica stan. Come at me.
Grab Kane. No, I think the Backrooms has already told us what this thing is. It's a mutated bacteria. Now, I know bacteria are supposed to be really small, literally microorganisms, whereas the Backrooms monster is anything but. However, one thing that bacteria love to do is form colonial organisms, animals that are actually groups of smaller animals all Voltron together. TLDR, I think that is what we're looking at here. A colonial organism composed of
Matt Pat is a fucking Loki-esque cryptid god.
Bacteria
I can live in that universe.
Mutated by exposure to human DNA, specifically a mutated strain of Hay bacillus. That may seem specific, but there's a definite reason for it. You see, after ASIC discovers the mysterious dead body, they conduct an autopsy report.
You stank of sulfur. Did you bring the cross of the Lord, the Holy Trinity?
Taken by a mutated strain of bacteria.
It's like portions of the body stopped decaying and were sustained. I took samples of some of the material here. It seems to be closer to a mutated strain of simple Hay bacillus. It should be completely benign, but really, I don't know what to make of this.
Well, don't worry, Doc, because I do. You see, Hay bacillus, also known as Bacillus subtilis, is pretty darn common, living in places like the human and cow digestive system.
I wouldn't let those live in me, personally.
Bacteria that's generally pretty harmless, and science loves these little guys. It's used a lot in experiments because it's very easy to genetically modify. This is one of the all-purpose cultures you'll find in almost any lab using bacteria for research because it's durable, it's manipulable, and it adapts in a very elastic way. And because it's so strong and resilient, it's been used to test out extreme environments like outer space, which I call out because later in the video autopsy report, we see that quick montage of images I mentioned earlier, and it includes close-ups of bacteria cultures along with rocket and space imagery.
Well, but that video also shows like random ships in the ocean. And like it shows like a bunch of different clips. I don't know if that's
used by the military. Between 1950
it's a bit of a stretch, I think.
The U.S. Army released aerosolized bacteria believed to be harmless over population.
Oh yeah, dude, I love learning about shit like this because it reminds me why conspiracy theorists exist and why that there is a purpose for conspiracy theorists in the world, which is shit like this does happen and it's insane.
Areas of the country without telling anyone, all to study what the impact might look like if an enemy ever tried something similar. Another test was conducted on the New York subway system in 1966, utilizing our little hay bacteria.
We live in a nightmare country.
It in through the sewer grates, and people dusted it off their shoulders. Here's the thing, Army. When you're on a New York subway, the biggest biological threat isn't the sketchy bacteria powder that you're dumping on us. It's the guy open mouth hacking into my face during rush hour. Anyway, all this about durability and space and genetic mutation makes me think that our monster is a walking, roaring bacteria culture surviving in the back rooms and evolving by coming into contact with the humans that keep no clipping in. And that's not just speculation either. Kane has seemed to confirm parts of this. Recently on his Ko-Fi account, which is basically like his Patreon, he dropped...
I thought it was coffee, because it looks like coffee. So wouldn't it be pronounced coffee?
this picture of the monster explicitly labeled as bacteria. Something tells me you're gonna need some more than antibiotics to kill that bacterial infection.
I mean,
that is what I call.
I mean, that seems pretty cut and dry, like, hey, this is bacteria.
Warfare. So
you could have led
with
that,
monster,
my man.
But then what are the back rooms themselves? What exactly are they, and what's their nature telling us about the world this story is set in? Well, when talking about internet urban legends to base a video series around, the back rooms is still pretty new. The original meme dates to 2019. The lore and branching ARGs all come up later, and these videos have all gone up in the last few months. This is a brand new evolving concept, but the bigger idea that it's grounded in, that the world we know has secret hollow spaces behind the scenes that we aren't supposed to enter, that idea goes way back into ancient mythology and folklore.
Agartha!
Human psyche itself. The ancient Greeks believed that spirits of the dead and plenty of other things inhabited an entire underworld of caves and caverns. The 19th century French occultist Joseph Alexandre Saint-Yves Marquis de Lévendre, how's that for a name, advanced what he claimed was evidence of an inner world inside the earth itself called Agartha.
I'm literally the smartest person in the world. I'm literally, sorry, smartest person in the world alert. Boom.
Even the idea of just ordinary maintenance
Brain
tunnels
huge.
and access shafts all over the world being connected to a more sinister purpose was part of the background mythology in Jordan Peele's horror movie Us. It's a very familiar looking wallpaper, but of them all, the Backrooms is probably most similar to the work of mid-20th century sci-fi horror creator Richard Matheson. He wrote the stories that inspired I Am Legend and The Incredible Shrinking Man, as well as many episodes of Star Trek and Twilight Zone, including the infamous Gremlin on the Wing episode with William Shatner.
Oh my
perhaps
Why? That's not scary. That's just a top 10 goblin sightings video. I love those.
For us today, he wrote Little Girl
Those are my
Lost,
favorite.
an episode of The Twilight Zone that was so iconic it would be parodied by The Simpsons years later in one of their Halloween episodes using really expensive for the time 3D animation.
It's like, did anyone see the movie Tron?
No. Ash. I mean, no.
In both versions of the story, a character accidentally finds themselves passing through an imperceptible rift between our dimension and another, unable to find their way out, getting lost in a vast, confusing, repetitive maze. Sound familiar? Really similar to the idea of falling into the back rooms. In fact, the only real difference between all these stories is the terminology involved. For the original Backrooms lore, they say that you've no-clipped through reality, a phrase borrowed from video games to describe when solid graphical elements pass through one another in a way that the program doesn't intend, resulting in a player character ending up in an empty space outside of the quote-unquote level box. This sometimes allows you to skip around and cheat, especially when you're talking about older games when developers were still figuring out how to make 3D work. Now, Kane Pixels' Backrooms has yet to make any explicit
There's something on the wing. It's just the fucking it's just the raptor from Jurassic Park. Alan. I love those movies. Oh my god, I gotta rewatch the first 3 Jurassic Park movies. Those things are fucking awesome. Also, hello James Dean. Welcome to the stream.
In fact, Kane's series has taken the general concept of the Backrooms and layering on a science fiction rationale to ground it in a very
dog shit 16-star run.
Video game stuff, I think this is exactly what he's building. And the key is right here at 5:45 in the very first upload. Check out the rope. It's sitting there, just sitting right there. At first, I thought nothing of it. It's just garbage on the ground, whatever. But then 1 month later, we get this at the midpoint of informational video. As the lost async employee explores the smaller crawl space with forest wallpaper, he stumbles across the facade of a farmhouse, and near it is this, an axe leaning against the wall. Again, a singular object just sitting there alone, waiting to get picked up. So we're wandering through
like a
of
game?
geometric shapes and repeating textures, stalked by a monster, and random useful objects are just sitting there out in the open on the ground, waiting to get picked up. No real context around them. It looks a lot to me like a video game, the kind of video game you might no-clip in or out of. To me, this whole area with the tree texture wallpaper, the facade of a house on the wall, the random old-time farm tools that just look slightly geometrically off, this looks like the exact way older 3D video games, I'm talking PlayStation 1 era, would use polygons and flat textures to try and render outdoors and nature settings within level box designs. They would paint the walls to look like trees. They would paper the sky blue with texture.
How many trees? No. Oh, it's gone. Never mind.
Stick a house facade onto a giant rectangle.
Would you guys want me to play Silent Hill, by the way?
To surround the
Would you be down for a Silent Hill playthrough? I'd love to play Silent Hill. I've never played them before.
Notice how they don't really move or shift position as the bright flashlight beam moves? Well, this certainly could be just 3D animation issues. It also reflects how many early video games couldn't or didn't use dynamic shaders. Shadows, if they existed at all, tended to be fixed and painted onto textures. This saved on
my sneeze no clipped to the back rooms.
There's even a point where our async employee leans in close to the wheelbarrows where it looks like the wallpaper pixel smears into just color lines. Again, like you'd see in a video game with texture mapping on the fritz. So
I actually didn't notice that.
Is indeed the space you go to when you no clip through the ground. Like
the room was awesome. The room, by that do you mean
reality itself?
Do you mean the film The Room? I've never seen The Room.
Threshold is
believe it or
also
not
a simulation. It could very well be that this whole series is just a
Silent Hill The Room. I'm an idiot. Don't mind me. I'm dumb. I'm a dumb man.
Async opens the door to the back rooms.
I napped for like 2 hours today. My brain's still rebooting.
Assets, the procedurally generated worlds, the levels that just haven't quite made the cut yet. As Kane explores the various levels in the series' first upload, we see office supplies and warehouses, but also residential style railings and exteriors of buildings that are clearly indoors. Hardwood floors, repeating filing cabinets. It's a mishmash of random assets, like when you're exploring a library of 3D assets from something like a game engine. All of reality being a simulation would also explain the voices that lure the async employee away in informational video.
This seems like a stretch. I'm usually on board for my boy Matt. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? I am usually with my boy Matt on these, and I agree with a lot that he said. I think he's gone a step too far with the whole everything is a simulation. I think that it's a lot more likely that it's just objects apparating into the back rooms. Yeah, we really took a turn with that one. I don't think that there is enough evidence to point to the whole thing being a simulation for me to like be completely on board with that.
Listen to the sound. These aren't voices that are explicitly trying to lure him away. It's not sinister in any way. It's just general white noise of a busy office or a party, almost as though reality is breaking through. Well, he's wandering around in a simulation on a computer.
But that doesn't make it. That doesn't mean it's a game.
One layer of reality up. But outside of the wall textures and random objects just sitting out in the open like a video game, there's one piece of evidence that really clinches it for me. Something that.
Do I think MatPat does cocaine? What's the hardest drug MatPat has done? The hardest drug MatPat has done is 2 Tylenol in a day. All right, this man drinks skim milk. Okay, there's no doubt in my mind that he's just kind of like this. This is just kind of how he is. You know what I mean? Like, he is about as white bread gets. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Who isn't token? There's nothing wrong with that, but like he clearly is a man of his own design. You know, if anything, I would say he probably is just drinking way too many diet sodas.
Gets me to raise.
It's probably giving his little brain a sugar high.
On this upload, February 29th, 1990. Here's the mind blow. That can't be correct. There is no such day in existence. February has 28 days, and 1990 was
secret methamphetamine addiction.
Hey. Sussy baka.
To me, this wasn't a mistake.
Why the fuck did I have to see him do that? I cried over the loss of that man, and they had to make me see him say sussy baka. How dare you, Matt? We're on a first name basis, you understand. Also, I'm doing very good, Alex. Thank you for asking.
The dates
a little tired.
Series matter. It tells
well, that's because my wife didn't wake me up from my nappies.
One where a February 29th, 1990 can exist. A simulated reality. And the back rooms.
That doesn't mean it's simulated, though. It's just a wrong date.
Just a little bit thinner, allowing things like office voices and, who knows, maybe even a virulent bacteria into the simulation. Am I right? Will async be able to break through the boundary? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
Fantastic. All right. Oh, hey, look at that. The Walton Files. We were just talking about that. Okay, what do I think about that first video? I think that was good. I think it was good. I think that I think the video I just sent is MatPat. Interesting. All right, hold on. I can give some of these a look. Yeah, let's have a palette cleanser of other videos. We'll start with that one. I vote string theory, not simulation. Okay. I think I agree. All right. I think this is the next game theory one. Thank you for all of those videos. They were very good. They were very, very good videos, and I'm very glad I've watched them. All right.
Looks like they came back with some new footage. Let's take a look.
I really liked this video, by the way. The one that he's showing the clips from right now is one of my favorites.
That's it, huh? Well, it's enough. Round up the troops. We've got a lot to discuss. Things just went from bad to worse.
Hello, internet.
Just like a little fun role play from MatPat in the beginning of the video.
Theory, the show that wants to no clip into your subscription feed. Today, I once again find myself trapped in the endlessly soggy hallways of the back rooms. The analog horror series produced by Kane Pixels and available right here on YouTube.com for the low
science instead of lore, maybe.
Last time we enrobed ourselves in its putrid yellow wallpaper, we concluded that the world of the back room seems to function a lot like a level map in a video game. You know how in a video game there's a set
I think I
map that
agree.
you're able to explore, and that there are walls or invisible boundaries that make sure that you stay within the acceptable area of play? Well, the way I see it, that's the real world here in Kane's series, the bounded area that humans are allowed to play in. However, video games also have tons of things that are hidden in spaces outside the boundaries of those levels. Unused ideas, spare assets, cut content. You want to know why FNAF Security Breach's file size was so huge when the thing first came out? Something like 80 gigs of content. Well, it was just piles and piles of cut stuff. Full floor.
I'm still mad. By the way, not to rant at you or anything, I'm still mad about fucking Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. I will die mad about Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. That was my first full real Five Nights at Freddy's game that I played, like, when it came out, and could have just been a good game. Could have just made a good game. Could have just done that, but you didn't. You didn't make a good game. You made a cash grab. Gloomwood is out. I've actually heard that. I also heard I might actually be wrong here. Let me check on it. I think it might be on the Epic Games launcher right now as a free game. Unless my friend lied to me, because that would be kind of silly. Let's see, store Gloomwood. Ooh, I am definitely going to pick up Gloomwood. Don't you worry. I don't know if I'm gonna wait for full release or not. It's in early access right now. But me want play. Me definitely want play. Hold on, I'm gonna check on the Epic Games thing real quick. Little tangent, but we got plenty of time to get through the MatPats. Also, it's been 2 days and my arm still hurt from the fucking gym. Is this supposed to be how it works? Am I supposed to hurt for multiple days? I should not have to suffer the indignity of working out and then suffer the pain of working out for multiple days. That seems unfair to me. Hold on, is it on here? I don't see it. Where's the free games? Oh, Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven is the game that's free right now. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Survival Arc Evolved. I might actually pick that up though. That's sick.
Of geometry that weren't accessible in the course.
Feel pain, your muscles are repairing. Yeah.
Removed from the game's files. And that, my theorists, are what I expect the back rooms are. The content, the spare assets, the AI generated world that didn't quite make the cut for reality.
I mean, that's my problem though. That's what I always do. Every time I fall out of working out, I go back to the gym and I work out as if I've been working out, and I absolutely shred myself, and then I drink a thing of protein powder like it's gonna cure me of my ailments, and it never does. It never does.
That somehow the company Async was able to use electromagnetism to tap into those parts of the map, the ones that exist.
That I think he's right about, by the way.
Beyond the parts of the world that we're meant to see, giving us the various repetitive corridors of the back rooms as we know them. Now, since the release of that last theory, Kane has come out with 3 new videos. The first is Pitfalls, where one of Async's researchers descends deeper than ever before in the back rooms, only to discover an entire underground city. The next was was Report, where we see the immediate aftermath of that incident and Async sealing the entrances to the back rooms. And finally, there was Presentation, where we see how Async pitched this thing as the solution.
With friends, it's barely okay. Yeah, Ark is one of those games that I think a lot of people really enjoy, but I think that it also like gets quite a bit of flack, and I think that it's deserved. Spend 1 hour taming a dinosaur. A Carno spawns, tears down your walls, and kills it instantly while you're out getting metal. That does sound frustrating.
Ultimately lost their government.
A Carno. We call them Carnos.
Lockdown of the facility. All three of these new videos are full of lore details. But to me, the biggest revelation to come out of these uploads is that the back rooms aren't just responsible for warping physical reality, they're also warping time itself. Attention, all you
I mean, that's not that crazy.
I've cracked exactly how and why people are no-clipping into this place. But enough talking, friends. It's time to go get lost in these endless hallways of lore. Now, the video game concept of no-clipping being a key part of the original creepypasta that this series is based on, Kane has yet to explicitly reference any video game terminology. However, after watching this new...
If you're ever watching a bro, they're warping time. Okay. If you're ever watching a MatPat video and you really pay attention to the editing, one of my favorite things that you can pick out is everything, just about everything, is done with the same like transition frames, like for keyframes. So like they're always like very like floaty. They kind of like float into view when something comes up. I mean, you could literally look at everything that comes into this screen. I want you to pay attention to how the screen moves when everything comes through. Watch it. So again, slides into frame, slides into frame, slides the other thing out of frame, slides into frame, and then slides the frame away, and then slides into frame. It's like everything slides. It's really interesting.
In it, we follow researcher Marvin Lee as he
I think it's good editing. It's just weird.
Facility only to discover a full neighborhood underground, and I do mean
that was kind of weird.
Lights, houses, trees, all of it. Well, all of it except for people. There are no signs of life here. So either an entire empty town fell into the back rooms, or this is yet another example of an unused or incomplete level. And when we do get to enter one of the houses, things are just slightly off inside. There are 6 inverted street signs just hanging out in the middle of an empty room, almost like a level designer intended to put them out on the street, but instead just moved them out of sight into the house. Making things even stranger though, the house has a single hallway leading straight back. It's like the uncanny valley of architecture. It's clearly meant to be a house, but it just doesn't nail it. Almost like it'd been designed not by a human, but rather by an AI. Something that's trying to mimic a human home, but without fully understanding the flow and function of the various rooms and hallways. But of course, it doesn't end there. If you followed the backrooms at all, you know that Kane likes to hide a bunch of secrets in the descriptions of his videos, and 2 of the new uploads, Report and Presentation, link to secret unlisted uploads. The first of these is titled This. I'm just gonna...
I will say, if I have one regret on my backroom videos, it would be the fact that I never checked the descriptions. Like, I just never did. I just never went into them. I never read them. And I think that was a little silly of me. I think I could have put a little more effort into like looking into that.
Because saying a long string of random digits every time is going to be a pain. This numbers video seems to be footage from a traffic camera on a highway. Nothing too out of the ordinary, right? But then, about 22 seconds in, we see a car no clip through the ground.
Off it goes into the back room, straight to doggy.
Wind up in the back rooms, including large vehicles like cars. But I think we might be able to figure out who was actually...
Kyle, would you be mad if Matt added a single frame of a picture of you photoshopped dead? Probably. Well, I mean, free publicity, but that would be weird.
Missing persons, we see posters for multiple people who have disappeared since the opening of the back rooms. One such poster is for Margaret Watson, the only poster of the bunch that describes not only her physical appearance, but also her car. Her car
that's pretty damning. Okay.
Ford Escort. And wouldn't you know it, but when you compare the footage from Numbers to an 87 Ford Escort, they have the same boxy appearance. So I wouldn't be surprised
that feels intentional.
To be footage of Margaret Watson no clipping into the back rooms on December 2nd, 1989, along with her car. But that's not all that we can get out of this.
He's doing a lore video. A single frame is just you photoshopped in a coffin with X's over your eyes. I would say that maybe I deserve it.
secret upload. The digits in the title of numbers
Maybe I
obviously
do.
aren't meant to be random
know?
here, but what are they? All our usual suspects are out. Ciphers don't seem to work, it's not a phone number, and it doesn't seem to be long enough.
Just turning my lights up because I think it looks a little dark. I think that's better.
More creative with this one. That series of 13 numbers is actually an international standard book number, an ISBN. These are unique numeric codes used to identify books, kind of like a fingerprint for a book. And 978-0415-263-573 is linked to a book written by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, the literary classic, The Yellow Wallpaper. Wallpaper, you say?
Well, I mean, that seems to track.
For school, or even if you did have to read it for school and you didn't, this was a landmark piece of feminist literature about a woman slowly going insane after being forced to stay in a room with ugly yellow wallpaper. She begins to see moving shapes and people within the wallpaper, and she believes that the ugly yellow color stains everything that it touches. By the end, the woman has peeled all the wallpaper off the walls trying to help the person that's trapped inside, only for the woman to then believe that she's become that person. Now, there's little direct correlation between the short story and the Backrooms videos, but a lot of its ideas are clearly present here. For example, as we see in Pitfalls, the bacteria monsters can mimic the voices of their victims.
Hey! Can you hear me?
The monster can also infect the corpses after killing them, like we see with a victim named Nicholas Bolton in the video Autopsy Report. In a way, they're almost replacing their victims. The monsters are trapped in the back rooms, like the people in the wallpaper from our short story. Their next step then should be trying to get out of the wallpaper, out of the back rooms, and out into the real world where they can infect more. Framing this in our simulation theory, it's almost like this is a computer virus infecting reality, corrupting it, just like the ugly yellow color of
So we're sticking to the simulation thing, I guess.
Touches in the short story. Now, while all of that's certainly interesting, and I always love a good excuse to work in a literary.
Have you, by the way, have you seen like the original photo where he gets this picture of him in? He uses this picture for himself in like every single video that he like speaks in. But if you've ever seen like the actual photo, I'll try to find it in the other tab. It is like actually hilarious.
Reference, it's the second secret video that really starts to break this thing wide.
Let me see if I can find it.
It all boils down to The Simpsons.
Wow, yeah, it was literally the first search result. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. It doesn't look real. It doesn't look real at all. It literally looks like a photoshopped image. It's iconic. It's iconic. Absolutely iconic.
This one is simply
Matt, I don't think the yellow wallpaper is supposed to be literal people. That's the Goomba guy.
Called The Simpsons.
The Goomba guy?
Fittingly enough, features a clip from The Simpsons, specifically the episode
Gaijin Goomba? Is that his name?
I'd like to talk to you about bringing legal action against the fiend who did this to your boy.
Feels super random, right? I'm just sitting here watching a Simpsons episode now. However, the clip glitches out about 35 seconds in, and suddenly we're sitting here watching a Spanish commercial for a cough medication named Dimacol. And while I could certainly stand here and draw parallels between a medicine for cough syrup and a mutated bacteria monster running around, I don't think it's the content of these clips that's important here. Instead, I suspect it's the timeline of their release. You see, Bart gets hit by a car premiered in 1991.
He's so cringe. What's cringe about him?
This timing makes a lot of sense. Up to this point, practically all the videos of Kane's Backroom series have been dated from the late 80s or early 90s. But the Dimacol commercial really stands out in this context.
Goomba got back? What is Goomba got back? Goomba got back. Hold on, my roommates are yelling. I'm gonna close the door. Ugh, they're watching, oh god. Hold on. Goomba got back. What is... Hold on. There's a lot of videos that are saying their Goomba got back, but none of them look right. Like none of them really have GG. Oh, it's a re-upload. They took it down? The Goomba with boobs is so disturbing. Is this Goomba gonna have big boobs? Goomba titties need to be downsized. Why is there a Goom boob? Oh god, no. No. Stop! The record scratch. Aki's design is something we both helped create together. We both love it, and it ain't changing anytime soon. Hold on, I need this. I need this real quick. God, he looks like a wiener, dude. He looks like a little chub. Ew, it's weird. He's got like dick head hair. It's strange. It's very strange.
Big goons that I cannot lie. You other haters can't deny. When that girl walks in with an itty bitty waist and them power ups in your face, you get. Wanna get that one up, cause you notice them puffs was stuffed. Deep in the robe she's wearing. I'm hooked and I can't stop staring. Oh baby, I wanna get with you and take your pic though. Those haters try to troll me, but them shrooms you got make me so. Ooh, Aki Goomba, wanna get inside those boombas.
All right, I'll say this. His voice is not bad. His actual voice undoes a large part of the cringe. He drew his wife as a Goomba with fat tits, and people said it was weird, so he made this song. Cal Pog at Goomba got back. Cal Pog at everything. All right, I'm a Pog kind of guy. I can't help it. It's from all the streaming.
Airwaves until about 2000. What I suspect is that async opening portals to the back rooms temporarily messes with the flow of time. Here, that Simpsons clip from the early 90s is interrupted by a commercial from the future. Only for
like again, that makes sense.
After async's experiment is done. Does it sound crazy? Yeah, it does, but it shouldn't. Time clearly works differently in the back rooms, and this isn't the only example we have. Here in the Pitfalls video, as Marvin moves further into the hallway in the back of that weird house, the camera glitches just a bit, and if you listen closely, you can hear something playing in the background.
Repeat, Marvin, do you copy?
Did you hear it? It's really hard to make out, but if you listen carefully, it's actually a news broadcast from when Cuba and the United States reopened diplomatic relations.
I didn't really hear it, but I read the subtitles.
Do you think that your current president, President Castro, will come visit the United States?
Is Castro still alive? Hold on. Fidel Castro. I think he is still alive. Oh no, he died in 2016. Never mind. Huh. I legit did not know he died really recently. Yeah, 2016. Man, what it was like 200 or 600 attempts on his life or whatever by the CIA. That's insane.
What are we talking about?
We're talking Castro of the Fidel variety.
They cringe failed.
They cringe failed. What's up? What can I do? Ooh, food options.
I think these are my preferences. You don't want to do this one. And
no,
I don't think I want a burger right now.
That's fine. I would say that my top two are definitely these two.
Okay. Do you want me to choose last?
Let's go with this.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because I had a sandwich for lunch today. Thank you so much.
Skiggy.
And yeah, I'd say now is a great time to start. Thank you.
Broadcast, it didn't happen until July.
She heard you listen to Goomba Got Back. She knew I was getting hungry because I was listening to Goomba's Got Back.
1990. In this short scene, we're actually hearing news from 25 years in the future.
Oh my.
News broadcasts or commercials airing decades out of their own time. We see the physical interference of time as well. As I mentioned earlier, the video presentation shows us Async losing their government contract with the Department of Energy because of an emergency.
Also, random question. Has my webcam been freezing much during this video? Like, have you noticed it at all? Let me know.
Lockdown.
Just for scientific reasons.
Async researcher accidentally
no? That's awesome. That's very good. I re-downloaded the drivers and moved some USB ports around on my like moving. It's in a new USB port. You haven't noticed anything? Awesome. Thank you so much. I think I fixed it. It was a really irritating issue I was having with my new camera, but I think it's fixed.
All that big of a deal, right? Wrong. You see, it's the same researcher that saw his team glitch out and disappear all the way back in informational video. At the end of that upload, we see him open the async control room and set off the red alert. But here's the thing. This guy disappeared on February 29th, 1990. His reappearance and presentation is on May 8th, 1990.
Oh, shit.
2 months later. But clearly he hasn't been wandering around for that long. He's somehow been transported into the future.
That's kind of sick. I like that.
Explain a discrepancy that I've called out in past videos. In the very first upload of the series, we see a clapper board that clearly marks the date as July 1990 something. But the date in the description of found footage reads as September 23rd, 3rd, 1996, a date that's just completely different from what we saw written on that clapperboard. When we first
That is weird.
I figured this was just an innocent mistake, you know, small error in dates during a point in the series when dates didn't matter all that much. But now it is clearly setting up the idea that time works differently within the back rooms. But that then begs the question, how? Why is time acting crazy, and more importantly,
this is 91 surely. It does kind of look like 91. Also, like, that doesn't necessarily prove time travel. I think that it works well enough in his case to where he's not like completely stretching. But I would also say, Matt, my boy, Matty Batty, Matty the Batty, like, you haven't disproven that was an accident. Like, it still absolutely could have been, because it doesn't correlate to anything. Why are those dates different? What does each date represent on its own? Because it doesn't like, there's the day, and then there's the random date in the actual video. I don't know if that tracks.
File from March 11th, 1990. In it, we see the rooms being flooded, which would obviously explain the soggy floors. But more importantly, this is where we first learn about the concept of null zones. Now, if you don't know what these are, yeah, you probably shouldn't. They haven't been explained at all, and they've only been referenced once in the main series as a passing comment in Pitfalls.
But what if Miller's right about the null zone?
In the original Creepypasta's lore, there were things called null rooms, but Kane's interpretation of the entire backrooms idea has taken a lot of liberties, and his null zones don't seem to relate all that much to null rooms.
I prefer his version of the backrooms to the wiki, by the way. After reading through the wiki articles, the wiki is kind of like vomit a little bit.
In any way outside of just sharing the word null. Instead, basically all we have to go off of is this one image. It's a bit difficult to make out due to the quality of the video, but I think it reads, due to the elevation discrepancy between panel 225 and 224, a null KX field is created. It's not much to go off of, but at least it's something. And looking back at Pitfalls, things start to make a bit more sense. Marvin asks,
I still don't know how he tripped there.
Entering an area that's at a slightly offset elevation. Look at the difference in heights between the hallway and the neighborhood. And that news broadcast from the future, the camera picks it up only as Marvin crosses the threshold of a single stair in the hallway. Each time we see an elevation discrepancy, he is crossing a null zone. See, the phrase null KX field caught my eye for a lot of reasons.
Okay.
It's a jumping off point that Kane put in so theorists like us could discover something about the world that he's building. So let's break down what the phrase could actually mean bit by bit, starting with null. In physics, a null is a point where two opposing...
I gotta say, again, I know I keep speaking in Matt Pat's defense, but I can't help it. He's someone I watched a lot as a kid. Matt Pat, is a really good teacher. As someone who not only has a bachelor's degree in education, but like who has worked with other teachers, and is married to a teacher. Teachers are a big part of my life. He's very, very good at explaining concepts. It's actually one of his biggest strengths, I think.
Quantities cancel each other out. Basically, when two equal waves meet, there's going to be a point where they perfectly reflect each other, thereby canceling each other out. The channel Electro Boom here on YouTube.
Oh my god, I love Electro Boom.
And sound waves.
Right now, only the first speaker is on, and I'm gonna stay out of its way and turn the second speaker on. Now I turn the speaker off again. On. Off. On.
So whatever a null
very cool.
is, it's canceling something out, some sort of a wave. And I have a strong suspicion as to what those waves might be. Electromagnetic.
I was about to say it's probably electromagnetic.
Magnetic tubes making a ball disappear.
Because that's what we were talking about earlier.
Talk about magnetic field distortions and other uploads.
Can we watch the comps of him electrocuting himself? Yeah, we probably can.
Moving on to the KX here, we can assume that the X is a reference.
How much do we have left of this video? Yeah, we could take a quick thing. Hold on. Let me find him. What's his YouTube again? Do you remember? Does he have it in the description? The game, the creepypasta. Oh, he didn't put it in the description, huh? Hashtag MattPat, hashtag trailer. Hold on. What is it? What it's hold on, he just said it.
Video proto wave. On. Sound waves.
Right.
Thereby canceling each really well using sound waves.
Right now.
These cancel each other out. Basically, when two equal waves meet, there's going to be a point where they perfectly reflect each other, thereby canceling each other out. The channel Electro Boom here on YouTube
Electro Boom.
Well using sound waves.
Right now.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. Let's just do compilation. Hee hee. I won't watch the whole thing.
Do this at home. Now we'll have high voltage as.
Good lord.
What the hell? Did I short something? Okay.
I would not. Is he soldering that while it's still plugged in?
Do this at home.
That's fucking wild.
Now, as soon as I turn on this. What the? What is this? Ow! One of these days.
No. I don't like watching whatever this is. Nah, this is bad. This is somebody's kink. Somebody's getting off to this in like a bad way. Stop moaning. Oh no. Oh no, he's gonna hurt himself. Didn't mean to moan like that, my bad. He's melting his brain, stop! You're gonna die! Good lord, alright, oh no.
See where we are.
Okay.
It's higher. I made my own taser back in my old video. The arcs can jump.
Thinking about recreational sex.
Don't bring your finger close to a stun gun when it's running. Everyone can build something like this or even stronger, but it might not be legal everywhere. Hi, I completed.
That's scary. Holy shit.
And I'm excited
That's horrifying. What the fuck happened?
to try it together. Let's dim the lights. You should always keep a proper distance from Tesla coil. Let's play Pink Panther.
I mean, come on, he must have known that he was too close to it that time. That felt intentional. That is sick, though. I love Tesla coils.
So if she was in fact electrocuted, then why? Oh, maybe she dropped the wall adapter in the water, completely submerged it, and then plugged it in. Oh. So I guess this is pretty dead. See, so
Alright, that's pretty good. Jesus Christ.
Solid hypothesis.
Stop saying terrorist in my chat. You gotta stop.
You know, X, Y, and Z.
I'm gonna get in
A
trouble.
three-dimensional graph. Well, that explains our X, which leaves us with K as some sort of a constant. I dug around for formulas that use the specific KX nomenclature.
Oh, I like all the fan art in the background. That's sweet.
The potential energy of a spring was certainly a possibility. Felt like an odd fit considering the material we're working with here. It seemed far more likely that the KX here was a reference to the numerous formulas for electromagnetic field equations that use KX as a dimensional point. And here's the thing, a lot of our everyday life can be traced back to electromagnetic waves. Light, heat, electricity, radio,
Dude,
X-rays,
I love electromagnetic waves personally. I'm electromagnetic wave pilled. Also, yeah, I keep stretching my arms because they hurt. Leave me alone. It's not for you. It's my own situation.
EM thanks to its alternator. What's more, every
Ow.
person that we've seen no clip into or experience strangeness in the back rooms has been using technology that uses EM waves. Kane, Marvin, and the researcher from Informational Video were all using electronic cameras to write information onto magnetic tapes. And Margaret Wilson, she was driving her car when she no-clipped through. What if people are no-clipping into the back rooms because they're unlucky enough to be in a spot where the electromagnetic wave from the real world happens to meet one from the back room?
What about the wood
Null
chips?
zone, canceling each other out and letting the
Aiming my electromagnetic field at high-ranking politicians to melt their like scanners, just
that make up our world. If you think of it back in the terms of a simulated reality of video games, almost like an integral part of the game engine code that runs our universe.
I gotta play that game. I think it's called The Complex.
Here within the universe of the
I gotta play that at some point.
Through their experiments with electromagnetism, Async has glitched their own reality. Like a speedrunner that intentionally manipulates the RAM of an old game to tweak the code and teleport to where they shouldn't be. But this has broken the rest of the game, the rest of reality. And now that part of the game engine is glitched. Players are randomly no-clipping into places they shouldn't be or hearing audio from faraway futures as they wander into these null zones. More More and more, the world of the Backrooms is starting to sound like the world's jankiest MMORPG. And just like with a video game, exploiting a few glitches here and there can really cause the game's stability to collapse.
Isn't it funny nuclear submarines just melt the brains of all the whales, orcas, and dolphins around? Is that true? That's horrible.
The physical world and time itself.
I love whales.
More and more unstable as new
whales are my favorite animal.
Clip in. What started as a high-tech way to expand your garage
I'm whale pilled.
Squeeze in a few extra cubicles will suddenly put the entire world at risk. The lines between the real and the simulated will start to blur to the point that, just like with the woman in the yellow wallpaper, we're all infected. We're all going a little mad. We're all the ones trapped inside of the walls.
We're all a game theory.
Like you were glitching out, or that you couldn't trust the reality of your computer.
Oh, he's an ad. All right. Let's see. I think he's got one more, but it's a fan theory. I don't know if that's worth watching.